Okay, so I just recopied the table up to here only because it's hard to see in my photocopy. So this is just a recopying of 2 minutes of news for every 20 minutes of music. It's exactly what's in this photo right here. And it says to complete the ratio shown in the table at the right. So the first thing I'm going to do is ignore all these other questions and do what this tells me to do, is to fill in the blanks here. So 2 to 20. I'm actually going to extend and go in this direction. I'm going to divide and get out of 1 minute of news. So I'm dividing by 2 and dividing by 2, which gives me 10. So because I have this 1 here, it becomes super easy for me to figure out what the rest are. So 1 times 3 is 3, 10 times 3 is 30. 20 times 2 is 40, 2 times 2 is 4. See a pattern here. 1 times 5 is 5, 10 times 5 is 50, and then 30 times 2 is 60, 3 times 2 is 6. So it's really 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 because they gave us consecutive integers down here. So I've filled in the table. Now it says, what's the ratio of minutes of music to minutes of news? So music to news, I have to be really careful about that. So it's 20 to 2, but that's not the simplified form. I would definitely want to simplify that. If you think of it like a fraction, you could clearly see that you can divide both of these and get 10 to 1. Would be the simplified form. I would accept either one of those. Number 9. Ratio station. So this is a different radio station. Why they have to have such complicated numbers, I don't know. So W-month and W-umf broadcast 4 minutes of news. So I want to set up a ratio table here. Now I put music on the top of my ratio table because music is on the top of this ratio table. So I want them to look the same so that I can compare them. 4 minutes of news for every 25 minutes of music. And then it says, which radio station broadcasts more news each hour? So this is what we're comparing. We're comparing news. So we want different values of that. So we want the same time. And the time is going to equal 1 hour is what they're telling us. And 1 hour is really 60 minutes. Now up here we have 60, well, that's 60 minutes of music. That's not 60 minutes total. That's a little strange. Well, maybe we just compare one of these numbers. So here I had 50 to 5, right? And I could get this music to 50. That's times 2. And here I could multiply by 2 and I could get 8. So in 50 minutes, for every 50 minutes of music, and for every 50 minutes of music, they do 8 minutes of news, and they do 5 minutes of news. So I would think that this company down here, WILM, is going to have more news each hour because in the ratio, when we compare equal amounts of minutes for music, we have more news. So I would say WILM is my answer. And if they asked me to explain, I would say I had equal amounts of music and I compared the news, and the news would be more. Which station will have to be on the air longer to broadcast 4 minutes of news? Which nation will have to be on the air longer to broadcast 4 minutes of news? So up here, we have 4 minutes of news in 40 minutes. And down here, we have 4 minutes of news for 25 minutes of music. So I would think that the answer here is going to be this guy up here. Because to get to 4 minutes, they have to play 40 minutes of music, which takes longer, so they've been on the air longer. So the answer here is WMTH, because compare equal amounts of music. Actually, we compared equal amounts of news, which is 4 minutes. And there is more time for music. And I could say that 40 is greater than 25. That's a really hard one. So I don't often assign this one, but I did want to have the resource.